Good morning, everyone. I'm Isabel Nader with Oz Arab Media, and today we are honoured to welcome Professor Talal Yassine, a prominent Australian business leader, academic, and philanthropist, for an exclusive interview. With a distinguished career in Shariah-compliant finance and significant contributions to various esteemed organisations, Professor Yassine's insights promise to be both inspiring and enlightening. Professor, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And you are from Izal al-Daniya in Lebanon.
Very good. First African, Izal al-Daniya, Lebanon. Yeah, that's correct. That's where I hark from.
Amazing. Before we delve deeper into Salaam, can you please explain to us the difference between traditional banking and Sharia banking and why it's so important?
Well, you ask a very great question. So it's like asking difference between Islamic law and common law. It's a very big area, but basically the three principles of Islamic banking, which is not practiced very widely around the world, to be frank, even in the Islamic world. Malaysia is the heart of Islamic banking, to be frank, is that money should not make money, so interest is not allowed. Number two, there should be no taking advantage of people, like as in unconscionability is an issue. And third of all, it should be money should not be invested or used for uncouth purposes, investing in tobacco, armament, pornography, alcohol, weapons of war, things that are not good for humanity. Now, these rules are very much breached in a lot of the investments that is done in the West, and we can see what's happening today in Palestine and Gaza. Weapons are not a great thing, tobacco, alcohol, all the rest of it. Banks foreclosing on people very quickly. It's a well-known disease at the moment for our world and our community. And Sharia compliance is, in terms of banking and lending, is nearly 1,400 years old now, and is a part of a solution to the current problems that we have. The big difference, to answer your question directly, is the Western world. Now, there's investment and there's lending. So let's divide those two up. In terms of investing, it's what you can or can't invest in is the big difference. So if you are with for example, an AMP, an Australian super, well, they invest in tobacco, armament, pornography, alcohol, banks, insurance companies. There's a lot of money to be made there, We don't, and at all, in any capacity. And that's the difference when you come to a Salaam wealth. This is what Sharia compliance means. It means that for Muslims and non-Muslims, it's for people who believe in ultra-ethical investment. That's one. So that's the difference between a Salaam super and a AMP. Other than that, we're exactly the same. It is about humanity and what can harm or not harm humanity. And we stand on the side of not investing in things that harm humanity. Weapons is one of them, to be frank. In terms of lending, the difference between lending is the contract and how you treat the other party. Now, you've watched my TEDx, which for listeners or people listening to this or watching and listening can be found on my YouTube or on TEDx. And if you can put the link up, that would be great, because I can't spend, 50 minutes of your audience time explaining the same thing. But basically, it's a way of lending money where there's a partnership, where it's merciful and where you're not taking advantage of the other party. And it's not just about lending money. It's actually a partnership transaction where there's equity and it's human-centered in many ways. And so, but for more detail about that, I invite you to watch the TEDx.
It's a very good TED Talk, everyone, and he has very good humor.
Great. Thank you very much. I'm in the wrong profession.
Yeah. Can you please share with us the vision and mission behind Salaam and what inspired you to venture into Sharia-compliant wealth creation?
So Salaam has a very clear vision. It's to empower and serve the Australian Muslim community and contributing to the social fabric of Australia generally. So we're not just for Muslims. We are people who happen to be Muslims in Australia, and we work only in Australia. That's what we do. And we are patriotic Aussies who want to give back. And our values, and they are in this order, is community, authenticity, innovation. Community, authenticity, innovation. in that order. So everything we do has to be primarily community. It's got to be authentic, and it's got to be more innovative. And that's our mission. That's our vision, and they are our values. We started originally with Crescent and recently changed to Salaam 14 years ago to serve an underserved community and contribute to the social fabric of Australia, and to give people an option to invest in accordance with their values and their beliefs. And those values and beliefs are the ultra-ethical values and the human values of not investing in weapons manufacturing companies, not investing in tobacco farms, not investing in banks and insurance companies, not investing in poker machines. So let me give you an example. So to make it real for everybody. So one of the things, we manage, alhamdulillah, just under $500 million. We have 14,000 members. We're Australia is one of Australia's largest Islamic organizations, full stop. But let's say the difference between us, so your listeners and your watchers would say, okay, so make it real for me. If you are invested in AMP or your super fund with Australian Super, for example, they would definitely be investing in a company like Woolies. You'd say, company like Woolies? Of course. Well, why would you complain about Woolies? Well, Woolies owns more poker machines in New South Wales, actually 4 times more poker machines than located in the whole of Las Vegas. Or repeat that again. They own 4 times more poker machines in those RSLs than all the poker machines. We're not talking about casinos, we're talking about poker machines in Las Vegas. So we can't invest in that. But if you're with Australian Super, you with Uni Super, you're with whoever, you are more than likely to be invested in Woolies. That just gives you a real life example of what we don't invest in. So our vision and our mission is to be ultra ethical in our investment. What's happening now in the world shows that goodness and supporting things that are good for humanity in the long term makes sense. You may get a short-term commercial advantage, but in terms of the long-term sustainability of humanity, weapons, tobacco, armaments, pornography, and all the profit that comes from them comes right back at us and injures us. And that's what we actually pretty much focus on from a Salaam wealth perspective. Now we have Salaam Finance, which is a non-bank Islamic lender, and we offer lending against residential homes for those that are prime debt, which means they are employed, they're in a family home, and it's only residential. So they're the 2 things that we do and the 2 things that we focus on, and that's why we started them.
I wonder if that's open information with what you said about Woolworths owning the more poker machines.
Yeah.
If more people knew that information, I think they'd behave differently.
Yeah. And this is, by the way, not an anti-Woolies thing or an anti-bank thing. And it's not confidential, it's listed company stuff. But this is not some secret I'm telling the market, They're very well known. It's a public strategy. And so the investment world is divorced a little bit from the real world, and people aren't focused on where their money is going and why. We're just educating them and giving them an option.
Yeah.
And we invite people to join of all colors, of all youth, of all backgrounds, if this ethical or ultra ethical investment strategy talks to you and is in accordance with your values and beliefs.
As the Managing Director of Salaam, what unique challenges and opportunities have you encountered in serving Australia's Muslim community?
Well, it's been my privilege, my pleasure, and my honour to serve the Australian community more generally and the Australian Muslim community. I'm produced in Lebanon. I came here when I was 4.5, but fully assembled in Australia.
Yeah.
So I went to school in Australia. I do speak Arabic. I do read and write Arabic badly, but I do. But I speak with a North Lebanon accent. And I am a lawyer, academic, business person trained in Australia. And so it's not like I had some religious epiphany and we're a dawah group, we're a religious group in that sense. What I found was that there was a massive gap in the market that was not only a commercial opportunity, but an opportunity to serve that is blue ocean, that is where nobody else is doing it. A lot of people talking about it and about serving the community. And I thought this would be a good way to serve the Australian community broadly. And my focus is Australia first and its community, an Australian Muslim community. And we believe there's about 1.3 to 1.5 million Muslims in Australia at the moment, which is a lot higher than the actual official figures in the census. It's a community that's going nowhere. It's very much part of the community and it's contributing to Australia. And we would like to think that we play a role in contributing to the social fabric of Australia by serving the Australian Muslim community and giving back in so many different ways.
Amazing. Your involvement with various organisations such as Taronga Zoo, love Taronga Zoo, and the Australian Fathering Awards Committee is very impressive. How do you balance your professional responsibilities with your philanthropic activities?
With great difficulty.
Yeah, fair enough. Your emails are going off.
Yes, yeah. Well, can you hear him pinging? Can you? With great difficulty, but with a lot of love, care, and attention, and support from my wife, my children, and my broader family, and a great team that I have at Salaam. I have been given the opportunity over, my career to, go on the board of Australia Post or Sydney Port, and now Taronga Zoo, which is an institution that is truly loved, that is pretty blue chip because of the trust it has and for the things it does. And I'm very privileged to do that. I balance it by, doing what most people do, which is work long hours and for purpose. And when you work for purpose and something that you love, it's not work. It's just something that you do. And that's why I can and why I really enjoy it.
Amazing. With your extensive experience on corporate bonds, including Australian Post and what you just mentioned, Sydney Ports, what key lessons have you learned about leadership and governance?
The one lesson that is above all, that people are people are people. It doesn't matter what stage you're at, doesn't matter what you're doing, where you're doing it. And what I mean by that is that if you act with authenticity, you are honest and transparent about your position on things, and you do the work. I don't care where you are, whether you're managing a fruit shop in, George Street, Parramatta, which I used to, or whether you are driving a cab, which I used to, whether you're managing a service station on a Sunday morning starting at 6 a.m., which I used to, or whether you are directing Australia Post or Sydney Ports or Taronga Zoo. If you follow those things, then you will do relatively well, because it's not board direct management. Businesses do business with business, companies do business with other companies. It's people always relate to other people that have different titles on. And if you learn those three things and you apply them consistently, then you have every chance of success. And by success, I don't mean financial success. I mean the ability to serve others with others, which is the way I define success.
What I'm learning myself is I feel it's authentic behavior with hard work ethic, combining.
Absolutely. And if you seek to create value, social enterprise value, money, awards, recognition will follow. If you follow money, recognition, accruement, awards as your key indicator, if you actually succeed, you're a very sad person. If you succeed. If you fail, which most people do, then you'll be even sadder person. And I don't mean sad as in, oh my God, he's sad. Just inside you is like, you're not serving for purpose, it's not your true you.
Yes.
And when I say be your true you, it's be as authentic. People, we grow up as kids to want to fit in, not stand out. That's just the nature of kids. But given who we are in the Australian community, we do stand out. We have different names. My name's still Talal Yassine, hasn't changed for 52 years, right? And I've learned to grapple with and then promote my difference rather than my similarity. And I can afford to do that because I'm educated here, etc. People want to promote their conformity more. And that's just a bad strategy, full stop, because if you promote your conformity, like I'm like them, I do the same things, I have the same outlook, I have the same name, then you're going to a group of people where there's a lot of people playing.
Was it difficult to push through adversity with your name during the 90s or 80s in Australian culture?
Absolutely, and it still is difficult. In fact, it's more difficult now, I would argue, than post September 11.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It's much more. And the ramifications are more deep, more entrenched in corporate in corporate world, in the political world, and academic world. There wasn't this level of McCarthyism and this level of control and battle that there is right now. And it's right now the Arabic and Islamic community is more under siege, more they're more Islamophobic, as Islamophobia register suggests. There's more Islamophobic incidents, there's more anti-Arabic incidents. There's more Daily Telegraph is on the front page again, including today. And there's a constant attack on our ethics, on our background, on our beliefs. And let me put it simply. If a Muhammad gets a parking fine, he's on the front page for getting the parking fine, and Muhammad got a parking ticket. If someone else got a parking ticket, one, it wouldn't be on the front page, it wouldn't be in a newspaper, but also it'd be a random idiot gets a parking ticket. I'll rest my case.
What's your advice for Middle Eastern Australians today that are trying to thrive, to push through? How can they push through this adversity?
One is to recognize that we do have it. That, I'm not a, have you heard of toxic positivity?
No. That's a paradox.
Yeah, well, the people like it, the ship's sinking, the place is crashing. Alhamdulillah, she'll be right, mate. A version thereof. Nishkar Allah. Like, go save yourself. Allah didn't say, go commit suicide. Like, nishkar Allah, whatever Allah wants, whatever He thinks. Now, we all believe in fate. Every religion believes in fate. The three major religions believe in fate. My point is, don't have toxic positivity. Be a purveyor of reality. So objective in your assessment. And if you're in a terrible situation, if there's negativity, recognize that. But then have the grit and the resilience to then do something about it. Don't let it get you down. If you don't like that process, if you don't recognize reality for what it is, it will hit you sooner or later. You can only have toxic positivity for a short period of time. It's basically delusional. And a lot of people are delusional about, like, you can see all that's happening. Oh, no, there's no genocide. What are you talking about? So
I think it's safer for them to be delusional.
Of course. And that's what toxic positivity is. Yeah. But then I don't say, well, look at the world, be down and out about it, recognize it for what it is, and then always have hope, always get up, grit and resilience is the name of the day, and think long term. Think every day you wake up, you're blessed to wake up, and that you, like any camera, you can take another shot. Yesterday might be bad, today you can take another shot. Every day you can take another shot. You stop your dieting, you can start again. You stop your gym, you can start again. You lose a job, you can get another one. If you think like but you've got to recognize you lost your job. You've got to recognize that you stopped your diet. You go, oh, mate, I've been to the gym 47 times. But it was 47 times. I'm still good, right? So my point is, take another shot and show true grit and resilience. And that means forging your way through and not giving up.
Amazing. I liked that camera sentence. I'm going to use that.
Please do.
You were recently appointed as a member of the Order of Australia. Congratulations for your service to business and the community.
Thank you.
What does this honour mean to you personally and professionally?
So I'm very honoured and humbled to receive another recognition. And it is, you know about it shortly before that you're getting it. And, like other things, you kind of just bank it and kind of try and just deal with it and process it. But when it actually happened, it was announced, I felt really, really humbled, stoked, to be frank. It is an honour. It is something that is an indicator, I guess, of the hard work and commitment and passion, and it drives you more to do more. And whilst, different people look at it differently, I look at it from the perspective of, it's not for me personally only, it's for my family and for my community. And to be a bit of a bellwether to try and achieve, and what I can do with others is what really matters. And this is similarly placed from my view.
Amazing. All right, a couple more questions left.
Sure.
In your opinion, what are the critical factors for successfully implementing Sharia-compliant financial solutions in a diverse society like Australia?
Well, the paradox of Australia is that whilst we're suffering from this Islamophobia, etc., on some levels. On other levels, it's a very open society. So Salaam Wealth, for example, is a global pioneer and still is in Islamic pension funds, like privately owned. We are the only one in the world that exists. Like in Saudi Arabia, in Lebanon, in Malaysia, there is no privately owned Islamic pension funds anywhere in the world. So that's why I'm giving a kind of a double answer in that sense. What really is required, so we have no regulatory burden to set up, to be frank. We manage just under $500 million. We are supported by the government plural, and we have no different issues to anybody else to manage. But what it does require is our 3 values. So when you go to the community, you can't go and say, well, we're Shariah-compliant, you should just join us. You've got to go with actual values. And for me, community, authenticity, and innovation. You've got to go to the community and say, we're giving you an option, it is in your interest, and you've got to demonstrate why. It's a trust product at the end of the day. You've got to be authentic and real. A lot of people greenwash because the color of Islam is green. So greenwashing is usually used for, green. People say something is green or good for the environment. It's really not. But there's a lot of greenwashing when someone says it's halal, right?
Yeah.
But they can't prove it's halal. They don't go through the process. They don't get audited once a year like we do by an independent auditor to make sure that we're investing in a Sharia-compliant manner. And that's what I mean about authentic. Because after a while, people will work it out. So you greenwash, people will work you out. And so you need authenticity. And the third, innovation. Give me something new. Give me something good. Don't give me the, meh. Like, okay. And this is what we're trying to do. So we're making sure we're community-centric. We're authentic in what we do. We're not perfect. Salaam Wealth and the Salaam Group is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But we try very hard. And the more questions people have, the more answers we have. Because we're community/customer-centric organisation.
And where do you see the future goals with Salaam and aspirations?
So my answer to that is watch this space. We're about to launch numerous new products and enter new areas and territories. And that is based on our vision to the community, where they're community-centric, they're authentic, and they're innovative. And so some examples, we're about to launch a Hajj fund for the community where you can save and invest that money. So when you go to Hajj is about $30,000 to $50,000 full cost for one person to go, which is an amazingly large amount of money. A Janazah fund, which is a funeral fund, a investment fund, and the list goes on. And so we will be announcing these products and come to the market with things and products and services that are community-centric, that are authentic, and that are innovative. And we hope everybody come along the journey as we double and triple in terms of size and in terms of our value and contribution to the Australian community in general.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this conversation. I've learned so much personally, and it's teaching me and hopefully everyone to continuously push forward.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Isabel, and I really am grateful for your time. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much.